Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. I've been up since 3:30 in the morning. I'm very tired. So after I discuss not just this event, but also my thoughts on it, I am going to sleep before I have to go to work. Well, in the meantime, I'm enough of that. Here comes the Elimination Chamber. We of course are talking about the Elimination Chamber event, and in fact just wrapped up a few minutes ago, live from Perth, Australia, which is why it was at 5 in the morning. And why have I been up since 3:30 in the morning? Well, I didn't want to wake up right at 5, because then I'd be missing the action. But nevertheless, as always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer, analyst, or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I, well, sorry, had a pretty good time with this event. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, I'm gonna be talking about what I liked and disliked about the event, and I'm going to go match by match. And a couple preliminaries before we begin. First of all, on the pre-show, a match was added in the pre-show, and I think this was added on like. It was definitely added after my predictions. That's why I didn't quite make the cut. I think it was added on like Thursday or Friday. So, in other words, almost in the dead of night, almost in the last minute. And that was the Kabuki Warriors, that being Asuka and Kairi Sane, defending the W Women's Tag Team Championship against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Sadly, I did not watch that match. I don't really watch the pre-show matches, but the Kabuki Warriors won there. But at least Indy Hartwell also got to compete in Australia as well. So that's pretty cool because she's from there as well. And the other thing is one person who wasn't there was R-Truth because he accidentally wound up in Austria as opposed to Australia. So R-Truth posted on social media a video saying he was in Austria and wondering where all the people was at. Man, R-Truth, R-Truth is a natural. We don't deserve R-Truth. We really do not. Like now, how I will say though. Oh yes, R-Truth's misstep is supposed to be comedic and funny, and it definitely is. But at the same time, you would be surprised how many people actually genuinely make that mistake. It got almost all the time confusing Austria and Australia. Spoiler: they are two very, very different countries. But yeah, so R-Truth accidentally wound up there. Never change R-Truth. Honestly, R-Truth, put him in the Hall of Fame next year. I don't even care if he's still wrestling next year. Put him in the Hall of Fame next year, or he absolutely deserves it. But without further ado, getting into the main card itself, we start off with the women's elimination chamber, or to determine who will face the women's world champion at WrestleMania 40. Who will it be? We will find out. But Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton all vying for that opportunity. Not a bad match. Starting off solid opener. Her and a lot of people do feel like a show should at least Elimination Chamber show should open and close um, with a chamber match. And this show did not, but the main event makes sense as to what actually main evented. But this was a pretty solid way to open the show. The women I think did really well. Becky Lynch picking up the win, which did kind of surprise me. Not by a whole lot. I did predict she would be either one of the two winners, or either her or Liv Morgan. But Becky Lynch looks like they're actually pulling the trigger, so it's going to be Becky Lynch versus whoever is the women's world champion. Which we will get to later on in this review. But otherwise, I think women did well. Tiffany Stratton, this was definitely test time for her. Because she's still new to the main roster, and she definitely showed out, and the crowd definitely were into her. They were chanting her and everything. The crowd was chanting a lot of things, not all of them PG. Although trying to censor an Australian and is like trying to who urinates in the wind and while trying to aim for the toilet. It's not gonna happen. And sorry for the potty humor, but it's the case. But But yeah, Tiffy time definitely was there. She, yeah, I think, did pretty well. Came down to the final three: Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Becky Lynch. Although all six women, like I said, did it pretty good for the most part. They did what they were able to. We got the power versus power from Raquel Rodriguez and Bianca Belair, but ultimately, Bianca the first to go. The final three, that is Naomi was the first eliminated hit overall in the match, but Bianca the first to go. And then Becky quickly he with the manhandle slam to put her away. So that 1-2 succession, and it did kind of catch me off guard. I do kind of wish we got a little bit more, at least with Becky and Liv being the final two. But it seemed like they quickly just, okay, hey, Bianca's out. Okay, hey, quick, now Liv's out. So Becky picked up the win. I don't mind that too much, but I do wish we got a little bit more. I wish there was a little bit more tension between the final two, because the final two of the Elimination Chamber are kind of almost like the final two of the Royal Rumble, where there's that tension building. Like, okay, one of these two is going on to get the championship opportunity. Which one of these two will it be? But sadly, we didn't quite get any of that. If anything, the tension came with the final three, which yeah, they do that as well. But I wish they would have also did with the final two. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. So Becky is going on to face the Women's World Champion at WrestleMania 40. Who will it be? We'll find out. But then next for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, it's the New Catch Republic of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. They seek to take the championships that are still unified, that they're not splitting, no matter how loud we complain. And They seek to take the Undisputed Tag Team Championships from the Judgment Day, that being Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who are, of course, accompanied by Dirty Dominic Mysterio. You remember what I said about those chants definitely not being PG? Well, Dom felt the full force of that. And after he got ejected, and after interjecting himself into the match and saving the match for Judgment Day Brethren, apparently he got flipped off by the crowd. At first, I thought, because the screen went black, although you could still hear her everything. I thought it was a feed issue. I'm like, oh shoot, the feed got cut. Oh, that sucks. But then, when I checked social media, no, the whole crowd was flipping off Dom. Dom was heavily booed throughout. He tried to say some stuff before that, and introducing the tag team champions, and but then. And that obviously being Finn Balor and Damian Priest, but the crowd definitely were not into him. And Dirty Dom continues to get that heat, and it's no different in Perth. Or sorry, Dom, only Paul Heyman can get away with introducing his superstars. But nevertheless, were Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates successful in capturing the tag team championships from the Judgment Day? Well, no, but they still had an impressive showing. Definitely a lot of good back and forth. Or the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, such a joy to watch. If this was your first match for either Pete Dunne or Tyler Bates, not only was it, I think, a pretty good showing, but also check out a lot of their other stuff, a lot of their other matches, especially within NXT. Because as those who are definitely impressive, and it's even crazier to think how impressive Tyler Bate is. Yet he's not that much older than me. I think he's only got me beat by a couple years. But nevertheless, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne on impressing there, ultimately falling victim to the Judgment Day. Hey, so good back and forth with and I guess as Damian Priest has totally abandoned the Reckoning, and which I kind of figured, because he had been finishing people off either with the Razor's Edge and then the coup de grace combo, which is how he finished off. I believe it was Pete Dunne who took the pin, but the Razor's Edge had coup de grace combo or the South of Heaven. So I guess the Reckoning / Hit the Lights is his Damian's finisher no more. I guess official. I guess he transitioned away from it. Moving away from that finisher, or which we've seen, but R.I.P. the Reckoning. But I know it was kind of just another variant of the Crossroads, but R.I.P. The Reckoning. Speaking of which, next up was the Grayson Waller effect. Uh, Obviously Grayson Waller big with the Australian crowd came out, had himself a shoey, which ew, but hey, who am I to judge? But Grayson Waller are coming out, having his guests Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and some announcements were made from both Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Some big announcements, and Grayson Waller kind of trying to stir the pot a little bit, which apparently I believe in storyline he was instructed to do by Roman, and but first Seth's announcement was that he's close to being medically cleared to compete. Glad to see he indeed was ready in time for WrestleMania. But the other announcement from Cody is that Cody wants The Rock. He wants The Rock 1-on-1, and so I imagine this will be the breadcrumbs that gives us the inevitable, potentially night one of WrestleMania 40 main eventing tag team match between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Well, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, I should say, against The Rock and Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins saying with the Bloodline, it's not exactly 1-on-1, which he's not really wrong about. Seth's got his back. Heck, so I imagine from there he'll go from this 1-on-1 and then morph into the tag team match. But the other thing is Austin Theory showing up trying to hog the spotlight for himself, taking the mic from Grayson Waller, and spouting The Rock's catchphrases before being beaten down, and Grayson Waller just lets them. He sits back, just lets Cody and Seth annihilate Austin Theory, essentially have their way with him. Not in that way, but essentially have their way with him. And so I guess this means Grayson Waller and Austin Theory may or may not be done. And some people are speculating that we could be seeing a potential split and then feud between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and it looks like this might be it, or at least stemming from this. So where will this lead? We will find out. But next up, it's the men's turn in the Elimination Chamber. This one for a World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 40. So Seth, get ready to find out who you're gonna face at WrestleMania as this time it's Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, L.A. Knight, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul. So this one was really really solid as well. Quite a bit of action and quite a bit of some carrying over storylines, especially between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul, all going after each other. They do the classic, Kevin getting into the pod as Logan Paul, last one to come in, and kept his jacket on for a good portion of the match before he finally took it off. And then he drew like a drawing of Kevin Owens and on the outside of the pod, like on the exterior, and obviously to make fun of Kevin Owens. But I'm wondering, when the hell did he do that? I totally missed him doing that. He must have been doing it while he was in the pod, and I wasn't noticing. But man, when did he do that? Also not a bad drawer, Logan, and just it's peak art. But nevertheless, yeah. So the storyline carrying over there, some other fun moments. LA Knight like ramming Drew McIntyre into the pod, like going all around on the all around the pods and stuff, ramming Drew McIntyre in repeatedly was kind of funny. AJ Styles coming in and costing LA Knight the chamber, attacking him with the chair before LA Knight got pinned by Drew. Drew eliminated I think 3 people. He eliminated it. He eliminated Bobby Lashley and LA Knight, and then Randy Orton. And Bobby was the first to go after her being hit with 2 claymores, one on the outside of the ring, and then the other as Bobby was trying to attack Logan Paul. Drew, who nailed Bobby with the claymore, or so that's how Bobby got out. And obviously we saw how LA Knight got out and crawled over, and then Randy eliminating Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. And it was and Logan Paul's elimination was funny because he put on brass knuckles. Teasy was about to use it. Randy, he RKO'd Logan to put him away there, but Logan will not be done in this match. Oh no, sir. But the other thing is Randy. He I imagine part of it might be storyline, some of it might be legit, but Randy grabbing at his back almost anytime he did any of his signature moves, including the slam or the DDT or of course the RKO. Or Randy, of course, her sadly long term issues when who's long term battles with like back problems and stuff like that, which is why he was on the shelf for as long as he was, as this like past year or two. Why it took him so long to come back. Which Randy, all respect in the world to you, but please take care of yourself, man. You are an absolute legend, and we don't want to see you hurt yourself any further. But sadly, that's one of the side effects of the RKO, having hit the RKO so many times and it being such an iconic move is it caused a lot of like back issues for Randy, and it was interesting to see how it played into the match, including when the final two did come down to Drew and Randy, and thankfully, unlike the women's, they did. I did duke it out for a little bit. Randy kind of playing possum and then nailing Drew with the RKO right before being nailed in the face by Logan Paul. And then when they showed the replay, Logan was just laying outside after having been eliminated before getting up with the brass knuckles. The brass knuckles was still on his hand. Randy, of course, hit the RKO and then eliminated Logan Paul that way. But Logan still had the brass knuckles on his hand and then just came in and just nailed Randy. Logan was just sitting there the whole time essentially. And I guess just woke up to nail Randy with the brass knucks. So Drew ultimately picking up the win. And wow, between this and then what happened on Raw, that is two matches in a row where Drew who won via outside interference. But nevertheless, Drew McIntyre will go on to indeed face Seth Rollins for the World Championship at WrestleMania. And it looks like some other matches are being set up, including it looks like it might be Logan versus Randy. I'm guessing either Logan versus Kevin Owens or Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, but it looks like so far they may be going with Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, and then at least based off how Randy Orton got eliminated, and to an extent how Logan Paul got eliminated, as well as now LA Knight versus AJ Styles. So the WrestleMania card are slowly starting to come together, but nevertheless, as we still have one more match to go. Right before then, Triple H comes out and announces the attendance record heard over 50,000. Whether or not that's true, WWE's attendance has been disputed before. Of course, they're not the only ones, but whether or not that's true, is debatable. But still, the crowd definitely did look packed, and I'm not really wanting to dig up numbers because it's at least for me it's pointless. I know for the journalists that's what they do, so I'll leave it to the journalists to deduce. But nevertheless, in the main event, the Women's World Championship is on the line, and as Nia Jax, the Irresistible Force, seeks to take the title from the hometown girl, the Eradicator, her mommy, Rhea Ripley. Rhea and Nia Jax have been feuding for a little while up to this point. And an interesting dynamic here. It technically is heel versus heel, but Rhea, I guess partially not just through her actions, but also the fact that we are in Australia, which is where she's from. It's technically where Nia Jax is from as well, but she was just born there in Sydney. He moved because I believe this because his family was in the military. But nevertheless, because Rhea's from Australia, Rhea has kind of been playing the face here in this feud. Could this be the beginning of the potential face turn for Rhea Ripley? We will find out. Of course, Rhea. Also, some people speculating kind of potentially distancing herself more and more fully from the Judgment Day, but yeah, for now, so Rhea kind of playing the face here in this feud, which is just interesting, but nevertheless seeks to defend the championship against Nia Jax here, and it's a pretty solid match as well. The main things being a lot of power versus power, which was kind of one of like the biggest cruxes of this feud is both these women absolutely big, absolutely powerful, absolutely dominant, and so essentially a battle for supremacy, a battle for dominance, and as of course mommy's throne of being the dominant one is coming to question by Nia Jax. So that coming down to a lot of this feud, and you do see it here. There's a Rhea Ripley having to change her offense, go to the top rope, hope and and come up with even more agility against Nia Jax. Rhea has shown her agility at points, but cranking it up as well to contend with Nia Jax. And she ultimately does so, putting away Nia Jax ultimately with the Riptide. She struggles with it throughout the match, but and ultimately nails the Riptide on Nia Jax. So really good stuff. Nia looks strong to defeat Rhea Ripley. He looks like a beast as well. Rhea gets to celebrate with her family and everything. And I think in having that in the main event, I think even if it's not a chamber match, still a really solid way to end off the show. But that was Elimination Chamber. So. Oh, oh, to rank the matches, at least the main matches, obviously not the pre-show or even the segment, the Grayson Waller effect, because those weren't matches, but to rank the matches themselves in order from weakest to strongest. And excuse me, the only reason I'm doing it this way is because there's only 4 matches on the card, which each match was stacked, and the card still was a pay-per-view length card, and I think it's helped by both the chamber matches being as lengthy as they were. Obviously, without the chamber matches, without the length of those, this would be a pretty short card, but nevertheless, because there's only 4 matches, I'm just going to rank them from weakest to strongest. So the weakest, I might have to go with the tag team match. It was still good, but just compared to everything else, also whether it be in terms of action or emotional stake, didn't quite measure up quite as well, but it was still not really a bad match at all. Then and next, I would go probably with the women's world championship match. Again, kind of for the same reason as the tag team match. And then the 2 strongest were obviously the chamber matches between the women's and the men's. And as to which one was stronger, in my opinion, I might have to go with the men's on this one. The women still did really well, but so did the men. And to set up even more of the feuds and matches going into WrestleMania. So. It had its action, it had its fun, but then also having its storyline implications. So kind of bringing the best of both worlds together in that regard. So I think the men's and the strongest match on this card. But it's still a really fun time, and I really enjoyed myself, even if I am a bit tired, even if I have been up since pretty early. I'd say it was worth it. But granted, I have to wake up early oftentimes for work, and I used to do it all the time for school. Well, I can't always quite get up as early as I used to, but I still had to get up early before, or so this is nothing new. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to sleep, take a little nap before work and stuff. You know how it is. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications. So you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the events in my review. Did you like select the Elimination Chamber this year? Did you like dislike my review of Elimination Chamber? Or what are your thoughts? And I can tell that Perth, Australia, definitely enjoyed it. Like the crowd definitely was on fire, throughout the whole match. And it looks like between what happened last year with it being in Montreal and then this year being in Perth, Elimination Chamber might be in different countries and everything every year. And then, of course, in 2022, it was in Saudi Arabia. So, is that the route that Elimination Chamber is going? Which, if it is, hey, that's not a bad thing. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace. And please, somebody help out R-Truth. He's stuck in poor Austria. But, poor R-Truth, I should say, is stuck in Austria. But, nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.